in the evening or with your hair loose, nor should you go out unless you are properly decorated with ornaments. You should not leave the house unless you are very grave and are sufficiently covered. Well, that's good advice. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Kashyapa Muni advised his wife not to go out on the street unless she was well decorated and well dressed. He did not encourage the miniskirts that have now become fashionable.
Mhm.
In Oriental civilization, when a woman goes out onto the street, she must be fully covered so that no man will recognize who she is. In Oriental civilization, I like that. When a woman goes out onto the street, she must be fully covered so that no man will recognize who she is. All these methods are to be accepted for purification. If one takes Krishna consciousness, one is fully purified, and thus one remains always transcendental to the contamination of the material world. Text 51. You should not lie down without having washed both of your feet or without being purified, nor with wet feet or wish your head, nor with wet feet or with your head pointed west or north. You should not lie naked or with other women or during the sunrise or sunset. Text number 52. Putting on washed clothing, being always pure, and being adorned with turmeric. Ah, very good. Sandalwood pulp and other auspicious items. Before breakfast, one should worship the cows, the brahmanas, the goddess of fortune, and the supreme personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. If one is trained to honor and worship the cows and brahmanas, he is actually civilized. The worship of the Supreme Lord is recommended, and the Lord is very fond of the cows and brahmanas. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanahitaya Cha. In other words, a civilization in which there is no respect for the cows and brahmanas is condemned. I agree with that. One cannot become spiritually advanced without acquiring the Brahminical qualifications and giving protection to cows, not dogs. Cow protection ensures sufficient food prepared with milk, which is needed for an advanced civilization. One should not pollute civilization by eating the flesh of cows. A civilization must do something progressive, and then it is an Aryan civilization. Instead of killing the cow to eat flesh, civilized men must prepare various milk products that will enhance the condition of society. If one follows the Brahminical culture, he will become competent in Krishna consciousness. Text 53. With flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, ornaments, and other paraphernalia, a woman following this vow should worship women who have sons and whose husbands are living. The pregnant wife should worship her husband and offer him prayers. She should meditate upon him, thinking that he is situated in her womb. Purport from Srila Prabhupada. The child in the womb is a part of the husband's body. Therefore, the husband, through his representative, indirectly remains within the womb of his pregnant wife. Okay, that's good. Text 54. Kashyapa Muni continued. If you perform the ceremony called Pumsavana, adhering to the vow with faith for at least 1 year, you will give birth to a son destined to kill Indra. But if there is any discrepancy in the discharge of this vow, the son will be a friend to Indra. That's interesting. Text 55. O King Parikshit, Diti, the wife of Kashyapa, agreed to undergo the purificatory process known as Pumsavana. Yes, she said, I shall do everything according to your instructions. With great jubilation, she became pregnant, having taken semen from Kashyapa, and faithfully began discharging the vow. Text 56. O king, who are responsible, who are respectful to everyone. Indra understood Diti's purpose, and thus he contrived to fulfill his own interests, following the logic that self-preservation is the first law of nature. He wanted to break Diti's promise. Thus, he engaged himself in the service of Diti, his aunt, who was residing in an ashrama. Text 57. Indra served his aunt daily by bringing flowers, fruits, roots, and wood for yagyas from the forest. He also brought kusa grass, leaves, sprouts, earth, and water exactly at the proper time. Text 58. O King Parikshit, as the hunter of a deer becomes like a deer by covering his body with deerskin and serving the deer, so Indra, although at heart the enemy of the sons of Diti, became outwardly friendly and served Diti in a faithful way. Indra's purpose was to cheat Diti as soon as he could find some fault in the way she discharged the vows of the ritualistic ceremony. It's not very nice. Mm-hmm. However, he wanted to be undetected, and therefore he served her very carefully. Well, this is a real, what do we call? Demon.
Indra is in so many.
He always gets involved in these convoluted situations. Text 59. O master of the entire world, when Indra could find no faults, he thought, how will there be good fortune for me? Thus he was full of deep anxiety. Mm-hmm. Text number 60. Having grown weak and thin because of strictly following the principles of the vow, DT once unfortunately neglected to wash her mouth, hands, and feet after eating and went to sleep during the evening twilight. Ah, DT has made a big mistake. Text 61. Finding this fault, Indra, who has all the mystic powers, the yoga cities, such as Anima and Lagima, entered Diti's womb while she was unconscious, being fast asleep. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. A perfectly successful yogi is expert in 8 kinds of perfection. By one of them, called Anima Siddhi, he can become smaller than an atom, and in that state, he can enter anywhere. With this yogic power, Indra entered the womb of Diti while she was pregnant. 662. After entering Diti's womb, Indra, with the help of his thunderbolt, cut into 7 pieces her embryo, which appeared like glowing gold. In 7 places, 7 different living beings began to cry, and Indra told them, "Do not cry." And then he cut each of them into 7 pieces again. Wow. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Indra, by his yogic power, first expanded the body of one Marut into 7. And then, when he cut each of the 7 parts of the original body into pieces, there were 49. When each body was cut into 7, other living entities entered the new bodies, and thus they were like plants, which become separate entities when cut into various parts and planted on a hill. The first body was one, and when it was cut into many pieces, many other entities entered the new bodies. That's interesting.
So that's why when we put a plant and kind of cut it and plant it elsewhere,
Yeah,
so it becomes another life.
yes, very interesting. Text 63. O king, being very much aggrieved, they pleaded to Indra with folded hands, saying, "Dear Indra, we are the Maruts, your brothers. Why are you trying to kill us?" Very good question. When Indra saw that actually they were his devoted followers, he said to them, "If you are all my brothers, you have nothing more to fear from me." Okay. Text 65. Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear King Parikshit, you were burned by the Brahmastra of Aswatthama. But when Lord Krishna entered the womb of your mother, you were saved. Similarly, although the one embryo was cut into 49 pieces by the thunderbolt of Indra, they were all saved by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Okay. Another supernatural thing that's happened here. If one worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original person, even once, he receives the benefit of being promoted to the spiritual world and possessing the same bodily feature as Vishnu. Diti worshipped Lord Vishnu for almost 1 year, adhering to a great vow. Because such strength in spiritual life, the 49 Maruts were born. How then is it wonderful that the Maruts, although born from the womb of Diti, became equal to the demigods by the mercy of the Supreme Lord? Very good question. Text 68. Because of worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Diti was completely purified. When she got up from bed, she saw her 49 sons along with Indra. These 49 sons were all as brilliant as fire and were in friendship with Indra, and therefore she was very pleased. Hereafter, Diti said to Indra, "My dear son, I adhered to this difficult vow just to get a son to kill you, 12 Adityas." Text number 70. I prayed for only one son, but now I see that there are 49. How has this happened? Hey, that's a very good question. My dear son Indra, if you know, please tell me the truth. Do not try to speak lies.
Mm.
Text 71. Indra replied, "My dear mother, because I was grossly blinded by selfish interests, I lost sight of religion." Grossly blinded by selfish interests, I lost sight of religion.
Mm.
When I understood that you were observing a great vow in spiritual life, I wanted to find some fault in you. When I found such a fault, I entered your womb and cut the embryo to pieces. Oh, what does it mean? That is really mean. When Diti, Indra's aunt, explained to Indra without reservations what she had wanted to do, Indra explained his intentions to her. Thus, both of them, instead of being enemies, freely spoke the truth. This is the qualification that results from contact with Vishnu. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5:18-12, Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavat Tiyat Kinchana Sarvir Gunais Tatra Samasate Sura. If one develops a devotional attitude and becomes purified by worshiping the Supreme Lord, all the good qualities are certainly manifested in his body because of being touched by worship of Vishnu. Both Diti and Indra were purified. Haribol, that's nice. Enemies being purified.
Mm.
Text 72. First, I cut the child in the womb into 7 pieces, which became 7 children. Then I cut each of the children into 7 pieces again. By the grace of the Supreme Lord, however, none of them died. Oh, that's a miracle. Text 73. My dear mother, when I saw that all 49 sons were alive, I was struck. I was certainly struck with wonder. I decided that this was a secondary result of your having regularly executed devotional service in worship of Lord Vishnu. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. For one who engages in worshiping Lord Vishnu, nothing is very wonderful. This is a fact. In Bhagavad Gita 1878, it is said, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Tanurdara, Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. Yogeshwara is the supreme personality of Godhead, the master of all mystic yoga, who can do anything and everything he likes. This is the omnipotence of the Supreme Lord. For one who pleases the Supreme Lord, no achievement is wonderful. Everything is possible for him. Text 74. Although those who are interested only in worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not desire anything material from the Lord and do not even want liberation, Lord Krishna fulfills all their desires. Whoa, this is confidential knowledge now. This is the opposite of what people do. When Dhruva Maharaj saw Lord Vishnu, he declined to take any benedictions from him, for he was fully satisfied by seeing the Lord. Nonetheless, the Lord is so kind that because Dhruva Maharaja in the beginning had desired a kingdom greater than his father's, he was promoted to Dhruvaloka, the best planet in the universe. Therefore, in the Shastra it is said, Akama Sarvakama Va Mokshakama Udaradi Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajata Purusham Param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he is full of material desires, free from material desires, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme All, the personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita 2.3.10. One should engage in full devotional service. Then, even though he has no desires whatever, whatever desires he previously had can all be fulfilled simply by his worship of the Lord. The actual devotee does not desire even liberation. Abhyabhyasita sunyam. The Lord, however, fulfills the desire of the devotee by awarding him opulence that will never be destroyed. A karmi's opulence is destroyed, but the opulence of a devotee is never destroyed. A devotee becomes more and more opulent as he increases his devotional service to the Lord. Okay, well, this is very good information. Text 75. The ultimate goal of all ambitions is to become a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if an intelligent man serves the most dear Lord, who gives himself to his devotees, how can he desire material happiness, which is available even in hell? Okay, now that's a good question. That's a very good question. And purport by Srila Prabhupada. An intelligent man will never aspire to become a devotee to achieve material happiness. That is the test of a devotee. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim. Kavitam ba jagat isha kamaye. Mama janmani janmanishware, avatad bhaktir haitakitvayi. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. A pure devotee never begs the Lord for material happiness in the shape of riches, followers, a good wife, or even mukti, liberation. The Lord promises, however, yoga shemam vaham, I voluntarily bring everything necessary for my service. I voluntarily bring everything necessary for my service. Okay. Text 76. O my mother, O best of all women, I am a fool. Kindly excuse me for whatever offenses I have committed. Your 49 sons have been born unhurt because of your devotional service. As an enemy, I cut them to pieces, but because of your great devotional service, they did not die. See how powerful the prayers of a mother is.
Mm.
Yeah, when one of my brothers uh, entered the army during wartime, my mother every day prayed for him and went to the church and lighted a candle for him.
Wow.
Text 77. Sri Sukadeva, Sri Sukha Uvacha. Indrastaya Vyanu Yatta Sudha Bhavena Tustaya Marad Bhi Sahatam Natva Jangama Tri Divam Prabhu. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued. Diti was extremely satisfied by Indra's good behavior. Then Indra offered his respects to his aunt with profuse obeisances, and with her permission, he went away to the heavenly planets with his brothers, the Maruts. That's wonderful. Text 78. My dear King Parikshit, I have replied as far as possible to the questions you have asked me, especially in regard to this pure auspicious narration about the Maruts. Now you may inquire further, and I shall explain more. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport to the sixth canto, 18th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Deity vows to kill King Indra. Well, I don't think she did that though.
Yeah.
Chapter 19. Performing the Pun Savana ritualistic ceremony. This chapter explains how Diti, Kashyapa Muni's wife, executed Kashyapa Muni's instructions on devotional service. During the first day of the bright fortnight of the moon, in the month of Agrahayana, November, December, every woman following the footsteps of Diti and following the instructions of her own husband should begin the Pumsavana Vrata in the morning after washing her teeth, bathing, and thus becoming purified. She should hear about the birth mystery of the Maruts. Then, covering her body with a white dress and being properly ornamented, before breakfast, she should worship Lord Vishnu. and Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. Lord Vishnu's wife. Okay, then Mother. Let's see. Then covering her body with a white dress and being properly ornamented before breakfast, she should worship Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, Lord Vishnu's wife. By glorifying Lord Vishnu for his mercy, patience, prowess, ability, greatness, and other glories, and for how he can bestow all mystic benedictions, while offering the Lord all paraphernalia for worship, such as ornaments, a sacred thread, scents, nice flowers, incense, and water for bathing and washing his feet, hands, and mouth, one should invite the Lord with this mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Mahanubhavaya Maha Vibhuti Pataye Saha Maha Vibhuti Bir Balim Upaharami. Then one should offer 12 oblations in the fire while chanting this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Mahavibhu Pataye Swaha. One should offer obeisances while chanting this mantra 10 times. Then one should chant the Lakshmi Narayana mantra. If either a pregnant woman or her husband regularly discharges this devotional service, both of them will receive the result. After continuing this process for 1 full year, the chaste wife should fast on the Purnima, the full moon day of Kartika. On the following day, the husband should worship the Lord as before, and then observe a festival by cooking rice, nice food, and distributing prasada to the brahmanas. Then, with the permission of the brahmanas, the husband and wife should take prasada. This chapter ends by glorifying the results of the Pumsavana function. Text number 1. Maharaj Pariksit said, My dear Lord, you have already spoken about the Pumsavana vow. Now I want to hear about it in detail. Excuse me. For I understand that by observing this vow, one can please the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Text 2 and 3. Sukadeva Goswami said, on the first day of the bright fortnight of the month of Agrahayana, November, December, following the instructions of her husband, a woman should begin this regulative devotional service with a vow of penance, for it can fulfill all one's desires. Before beginning the worship of Lord Vishnu, the woman should hear the story of how the Maruts were born. Under the instructions of qualified brahmanas, in the morning she should wash her teeth, bathe, and dress herself with white cloth ornaments. And before taking breakfast, she should worship Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi. Text number 4. She should then pray to the Lord as follows. My dear Lord, you are full of all opulences, but I do not beg you for opulence. I simply offer my respectful obeisances unto you. You are the husband and the master of Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, who has all opulences. Therefore, you are the master of all mystic yoga. I simply offer my obeisances unto you. Now, that's a very nice verse. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. A devotee knows how to appreciate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself, because he is the complete whole. Even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. In other words, he's never depleted. Therefore, to take shelter of the Supreme Lord is required. Whatever a devotee needs will be supplied by the complete Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tesa nitya vyuktanam yogashamam vahamyaham. Therefore, a pure devotee will not ask anything from the Lord. He simply offers the Lord his respectful obeisances. And the Lord is prepared to accept whatever the devotee can secure to worship him. Even patram pushpam phalam toyam, a leaf, flower, fruit, or water. There is no need to artificially exert oneself. It is better to be plain and simple, and with respectful obeisances, offer to the Lord whatever one can secure. The Lord is completely able to bless the devotee with all opulences. That is very good advice. Text 5. O my Lord, because you are endowed with causeless mercy, all opulences, all prowess, and all glories, strengths, and transcendental qualities, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of everyone. Purports. In this verse, the words Tatosi Bhagavan Prabhu mean, therefore you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of everyone. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is endowed with all six opulences in full. And moreover, he is extremely kind to his devotee. Although he is full in himself, he nonetheless wants all living entities to surrender unto him so that they may engage in his service. Thus, he becomes satisfied. Although he is full in himself, he nonetheless becomes pleased when his devotee offers him Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, a leaf, flower, fruit, or water. In devotion, sometimes the Lord, as the child of Mother Yasoda, requests his devotee for some food, as if he were very hungry. Sometimes he tells his devotee in dream that his temple and his garden are now very old and that he cannot enjoy them very nicely. Thus he requests the devotee to repair them. Sometimes he is buried in the earth, and as if unable to come out himself, he requests his devotee to rescue him. Sometimes he requests his devotee to preach his glories all over the world, although he alone is quite competent to perform this task. Even though the Supreme Personality of Godhead is endowed with all possessions and is self sufficient, he depends on his devotees. Therefore, the relationship of the Lord with his devotees is extremely confidential. Only the devotees can perceive how the Lord, although full in himself, depends on his devotees for some particular work. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita 11.33, where the Lord tells Arjuna, Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. O Arjuna, merely be an instrument in this fight. Lord Krishna had the competence to win the battle of Kurukshetra, but nonetheless, he induced his devotee Arjuna to fight and become the cause of victory. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was quite competent enough to spread his name and mission all over the world, but still he depended upon his devotee to do this work. It's talking about Prabhupada now. Considering all these points, the most important aspect of the Supreme Lord self-sufficiency is that he depends on his devotees. This is called his causeless mercy. The devotee who has perceived this causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by realization can understand the master and the servant. After profusely offering obeisances unto Lord Vishnu, the devotee should offer respectful obeisances unto Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and pray as follows. O wife of Lord Vishnu, O internal energy of Lord Vishnu, you are as good as Lord Vishnu himself, for you have all of his qualities and opulences. O goddess of fortune, please be kind to me. O mother of the entire world, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. That is a real prayer. Second. Okay. Purport. The Lord has multifarious potencies. Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shriyate. Since Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is the Lord's very precious potency, she is addressed here as Mahamaya. The word Maya means Shakti. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme, cannot exhibit his power everywhere without his principal energy. It is said, Shakti Shakti Timan Abeda. The power and the powerful are identical. Therefore, Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is the constant companion of Lord Vishnu. They remain together constantly. One cannot keep Lakshmi in one's home without Lord Vishnu. To think that one can do so is very dangerous. To keep Lakshmi or the riches of the world without the service of the Lord is always dangerous, for then Lakshmi becomes the illusory energy. With Lord Vishnu, however, Lakshmi is the spiritual energy. Okay. Therefore, that last statement is very important. That is, to keep Lakshmi or the riches of the Lord without service of the Lord is always dangerous, for then Lakshmi becomes the illusory energy. With Lord Vishnu, however, Lakshmi is the spiritual energy. Yes, so if someone becomes greedy and doesn't share the opulences given for the benefit of humanity, then, as it says here, Lakshmi becomes the illusory energy. With Lord Vishnu, however, Lakshmi is the spiritual energy. Text number 7. This is a prayer. It's a nice prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Mahanubhavaya Mahavibhuti Pataye Saha Mahavibhutir Balim Upahar Ramite Ane Ahar Mantrena Vishnur Avahan Arya Padyo Sparsana Snana Vasa Upadita Vibhushana Ganda Pushpa Dupa Dipra Aharadi Upacharan Susma Hitofa Haret. My Lord Vishnu, full in six opulences, you are the best of all enjoyers and the most powerful. O husband and mother Lakshmi, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are accompanied by many associates, such as Vishvaksena. I offer all the paraphernalia for worshiping you. One should chant this mantra every day with great attention while worshiping Lord Vishnu with all paraphernalia, such as water for washing his feet, hands, and mouth, and water for his bath. One must offer him various presentations for his worship, such as garments, a sacred thread, ornaments, scents, flowers, incense, and lamps. So this is offering worship to Lord Vishnu every day. This mantra is very important. Anyone engaged in deity worship should chant this mantra as quoted above, beginning with Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya. Text number 8. Sukadeva Goswami continued. After worshiping the Lord with all the paraphernalia mentioned above, one should chant the following mantra while offering 12 oblations of ghee on the sacred fire. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Mahavibhuti Pataye Swaha. Text number 9. If one desires all opulences, his duty is to daily worship Lord Vishnu with his wife, Lakshmi. With great devotion, one should worship him according to the above mentioned process. Lord Vishnu and the goddess of fortune are an immensely powerful combination. They are the bestowers of all benedictions and the sources of all good fortune. Therefore, the duty of everyone is to worship Lakshmi Narayana. Purport. Lakshmi Narayana, Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi, are always situated in everyone's heart. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridese Rijunatistati. However, because non-devotees do not realize that Lord Vishnu stays with his eternal consort, Lakshmi, within the hearts of all living entities, they are not endowed with the opulence of Lord Vishnu. Unscrupulous men sometimes address a poor man as Daridra Narayana or poor Narayana. This is most unscientific. Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi are always situated in everyone's heart. But this does not mean that everyone is Narayana, especially not those in poverty. This is most abominable term. This is a most abominable term to use in connection with Narayana. Narayana never becomes poor, and therefore he can never be called Daridra Narayana. Narayana is certainly situated in everyone's heart, but he is neither poor or rich. Only unscrupulous persons who do not know the opulence of Narayana try to afflict him with poverty. Wow, very nice statement. Text number 10. One should offer obeisances unto the Lord with a mind humbled through devotion, while offering dandavats by falling on the ground like a rod. One should chant the above mantra 10 times. Then one should chant the following prayer. My Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi, Goddess of Fortune, you are the proprietors of the entire creation. Indeed, you are the cause of the creation. Mother Lakshmi is extremely difficult to understand because she is so powerful that the jurisdiction of her power is difficult to overcome. Mother Lakshmi is represented in the material world as the external energy, but actually she is always the internal energy of the Lord. Wow. Text 12. My Lord, you are the master of energy, and therefore you are the supreme person. You are sacrifice or yajna personified. Lakshmi, the embodiment of spiritual activities, is the original form of worship offered unto you, whereas you are the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Text 13. Mother Lakshmi, who is here, is the reservoir of all spiritual qualities, whereas you manifest and enjoy all these qualities. Indeed, you are actually the enjoyer of everything. You live as the super soul of all living entities, and the goddess of fortune is the form of their bodies, senses, and minds. She also has a holy name and form, whereas you are the support of all such names and forms, and the cause for their manifestation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Madhavacharya, the Acharya of the Tattvavadis, has described this verse in the following way. Vishnu is described as Yajna or Yajna personified, and Mother Lakshmi is described as spiritual activities and the original form of worship. In fact, they represent spiritual activities and the super soul of all yajna. Lord Vishnu is the super soul even of Lakshmi Devi, but no one can be the super soul of Lord Vishnu or Lord Vishnu himself, for Lord Vishnu himself is the spiritual super soul of everyone. According to Madhvacharya, there are two tattvas or factors. One is independent and the other is dependent. The first tattva is the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, and the second is the Jiva tattva. Lakshmi Devi, being dependent on Lord Vishnu, is sometimes counted among the Jivas. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas, however, describe Lakshmi Devi in accordance with the following two verses from the Prameya Ratnavali of Baladeva Vidya Bhusana. The first verse is quotation from the Vishnu Purana. Nityaiva sa jagannata Vishnu Shrir Anapayini Yata Sarvagato Vishnus Tattva no Tattva Yam Dvijotama Vishnu Syu Shaktayas Tisras tasu ya kirtita para. Saiva Shristad Abin Neti Praha Sisyan Prabhur Mahan. O best of the Brahmanas, Lakshmi is the constant companion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, and therefore she is called Anapayini. She is the mother of all creation. As Lord Vishnu is all pervading, his spiritual potency, Mother Lakshmi, is also all pervading. Lord Vishnu has three principal potencies: internal, external, and marginal. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has accepted Parashakti, the supreme energy of the Lord, as being identical with the Lord. Thus, she is also included in the independent Vishnu Tattva. Okay, very nice. In the Kanti Mala commentary on the Prameya Ratnavali, there is this statement: Nanu kvachit nityamukta jivatvam lakshmiya Sri Kritam Tatraha Paheti Nityai Veti Padye Sarva Vyapi Katanena Kalaksha Seti Ad Padye Dvaye uh, no Nanu Kvachet Nitya Mukta Jivatvam Lakshmiya Sri Kritam Tatraha Praheti Nityai Veti Padye Sarva Yakti Tatenena Kala Kasteti Adipadya Dwaye Sudopiti Ukta Sa Mahaprabhuna Swasisyan Prati Lakshmiya Bhagavan Advaitam Upadistam Kvachit Tat Tasyastu Dvaitam Uktam Tatu Tat Avista Nitya Mukta Jivam Adaya Sangatamas too. Although some authoritative Vaishnava disciplic successions count the goddess of fortune among the ever liberated living entities or jivas in Vaikuntha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in accordance with the statement in the Vishnu Purana, has described Lakshmi as being identical with the Vishnu Tattva. The correct conclusion is that the descriptions of Lakshmi as being different from Vishnu are stated when an eternally liberated living entity is imbued with the quality of Lakshmi. They do not pertain to Mother Lakshmi, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Okay. So, I mean, the takeaway is the correct conclusion is that the descriptions of Lakshmi as being different from Vishnu are stated when an eternally liberated living entity is imbued with the quality of Lakshmi. They do not pertain to Mother Lakshmi, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. I don't know if I understand that. The correct conclusion is that the descriptions of Lakshmi as being different from Vishnu are stated when an eternally liberated living entity is imbued with the quality of Lakshmi. They do not pertain to Mother Lakshmi, the eternal the consort of Lord Vishnu. So you cannot say that Lakshmi is different from Vishnu. She's always with the Lord. So therefore, She's the eternal consort of the Lord in all situations. Text 14, and then we'll come to an end. You are both the supreme rulers and benedictors of the three worlds. Therefore, my Lord, Uttama Sloka, may my ambitions be fulfilled by your grace. Oh, that's nice, very nice verse. And I should be any more stuff here. Okay, we'll do one or two more. Text 15. Huh?
Yeah, it's 7:40 right now.
Shri Sukadeva Goswami continued. Thus, one should worship Lord Vishnu, who is known as Srinivasa, along with Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, by offering prayers according to the process mentioned above. After removing all the paraphernalia of worship, one should offer them water to wash their hands and mouths, and then one should worship them again. Okay, we will end with that verse. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Are there any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Okay, our takeaway for today is Canto 6, chapter 19, and verse number 9. It says, if one desires all opulences, his duty is to daily worship Lord Vishnu with his wife Lakshmi. With great devotion, one should worship him according to the above mentioned process. Lord Vishnu and the goddess of fortune are an immensely powerful combination. They are the bestowers of all benedictions and the source of all good fortune. Therefore, the duty of everyone is to worship Lakshmi Narayana. Haribol. That's what we do exactly. Lakshmi Narayana or Radha and Krishna. We always worship them together, never independently. Okay, well, thank you very much, my dear devotees. That is our takeaway for today.
Any questions or comments online? If not, okay. We're ending for today this session. Thank you. Hare Krishna.